Hi, this is Alex Kantrowitz. I'm the host of Big Technology Podcast, a longtime reporter and an on-air contributor to CNBC. And if you're like me, you're trying to figure out how artificial intelligence is changing the business world and our lives. So each week on Big Technology, I bring on key actors from companies building AI tech and outsiders trying to influence it, asking where this is all going. They come from places like NVIDIA, Microsoft, Amazon, and plenty more. So if you want to be smart with your wallet, your career choices, in meetings with your colleagues, and at dinner parties, listen to Big Technology Podcast wherever you get your podcasts.
The Fall Line is a true crime podcast covering the coldest cases in the southeastern United States and occasionally beyond. We focus on the missing persons, the unsolved murders, and the unidentified does that don't get media attention. Empathetic and intensively researched, The Fall Line will take you on deep dives into unsolved cases that you've never heard of and make you wonder why you haven't. Find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
Hey, I'm the Medium, and this podcast is for those who wish to understand the wonderful world of spirit. Where do we go when we die? I'll share stories of mine as a medium and other mediums in our journeys, plus you will hear real-life client readings so that you can know without any doubt that your loved ones in spirit are around you all the time. I'm Jen, and this is the Singing Medium Podcast. Hey everybody, welcome back to the Singing Medium Podcast. Today's episode is going to be all about my freaky dream. I had a freaky dream. You've ever had a freaky dream? I'm sure you have. I mean, a freaky dream where you wake up, one of those dreams where, especially as a psychic, it can be a little bit scary because you are psychic and you see the future, and there's something called premonitions where someone could feel or see the future, sense the future as well, and that's kind of what I do. So this freaky dream is freaking me out. So I'm going to share about this dream that I had. It's going to be a little bit like, how do I explain this? I don't know if it was in premonition. That's the thing that's missing. But when you have a dream, sometimes that's very vivid and very real. What happens is you're sometimes, and this, hopefully all of you believe in this kind of stuff. If you're listening to my podcast, you must believe in what I'm about to tell you. Sometimes when you have a very vivid dream, it means that, and you remember it in the morning and it has like a feel to it, like you feel like you've already been there and it happened. That's usually not a quote unquote dream. It, to me, in my experience, is like you visited another realm where this exists. So an example would be like, let's just say you had a 10-year relationship with a partner, with a boyfriend, and then you guys broke up for whatever reason, and you were going to get married, but you didn't. And then all of a sudden, a year later, you meet your soulmate and you guys are married. So that change in the timeline, so that existence of you not being with that other boyfriend in the past, it is created another realm where that still exists. So that experience that you didn't choose or it didn't happen, for some reason it goes and it creates a whole other realm, and you, like, it's hard to explain, but sometimes in your subconscious, but also there's actually a realm, like an actual place where you can visit in your dreams or meditation, usually in your dreams mostly, where this actually happens. So you'll have a dream about this ex-boyfriend like 10 years from now. You're like, why am I thinking about this ex-boyfriend? Like, and you'll be talking to this person in like a hallway, and you'll have a conversation with them, and maybe something changes in the dream. This, to me, this is another realm or a little dimension that you visit that actually exists. So yes, that's why I was a little bit concerned about my freaky dream, because it had like those exact qualities. It had like, that weird feeling. It felt like I was there. It felt like I was seeing it, So as a psychic, like, obviously I don't know everything, I don't know everything. So if I get something wrong, I'm a human being. We talked about this before, right? So people expect me to be accurate about every single thing that I get. And with dreams, they're a little bit of a fine line, because you're not actually awake and you don't have all of your senses and you're not conscious. So you don't know, like, as if I'm conscious and I'm awake and I receive something from the psychic realm that is intelligent and I have that knowing behind it and I put it out there, this is different, right? Because it's not, I didn't get this as I was waking. I got this as I was sleeping. So, who knows? Who knows this is going to happen? Like, really, with this crazy world that we're in right now, literally anything could happen. Like, you can't say this couldn't happen, maybe 20 years ago, you'd be like, oh my God, that will never happen. But I'm telling you, right now, the way things are going, it could happen. And I do have I don't even know if this was in I've been going back through my notes. So when I get a psychic prediction, I put it in my notes on my phone. And sometimes they don't make it to a blog, or I don't announce them on the podcast because I just forgot about them because they're in my notes. So I was going through my notes the other night. I'm like, okay, what can I tell the audience about, some predictions or anything like that? So I don't have any new ones, but there are some old ones from like a year and a half ago that are just starting to make sense now. So remember my timeline. So if I, again, explain it, if I see something, it's already happened, and if I see something very strongly, it could take up to 2 years. So that's why people are like, well, you said something it's going to happen September 2021 and it didn't happen until September 2022. That's because there's no rhyme or reason to this. It's always within 2 years. For some reason, that's as far as I can see. That being said, with individual clients, I call them a tenor. Some clients that I read for in a psychic reading, I can read them up to 10 years, which is so sort of cool. It's kind of like they're special. So if I ever call you a tenor, not a tenor like, oh, not like that kind of tenor. If I call you a tenor, it means you're very, very, very open, and I'm allowed to see past the 2-year mark for you. So if you ever had a reading from me and I tell you something, it should happen within 2 years. So it's good to have you can have a psychic reading as often as you want, which I'll talk about in a second, but some people I can see up to 10 years of their life, which is like hard to remember, So if it's like, oh my God, I have to wait 10 years for this to happen, sometimes, but it means you're special or you're very open and it's just easier to read you. So we'll get into that a different time. But before I get into that, speaking of having a psychic reading often, I don't know if you guys noticed, but I got a really cool idea the other day. And I wasn't sure what to call it. I didn't want to call it a membership, but that's just what I chose. It's a word that I'm like, okay, we're just going to use it. So maybe it's not a cool enough word, because I don't think people understand how cool this new service is that I have. It is a membership, quote unquote membership, or like a subscription almost, where you can choose 1, 3, or 6 months of having your own personal psychic. Now, the reason why this would be a really cool thing is because normally you do a Zoom call, right? Or if you're in local, you'll come to my house. Or if you are also local, you'll come see me at a fair where I'm doing readings, or you'll see me at the store doing readings, but usually it's online. The coolest thing about this, if you think about do you remember when you were a kid and you would stay up till 2 a.m. and you would sneak watch TV, and then there was a commercial about these psychics and you go, okay, call 1-800, call Zena, or call Zara the psychic, and then they'd be on there with their freaking crystal ball and their weird kerchief on their head, and you'd be like, oh my God, it's like $5.99 a minute. You're like, oh my God, I wish I could do this. And I bet you some of you have actually done this. You would take your mom's credit card and call the psychic and see what they would say. So it's not with that weird stuff, obviously, but you have your own personal psychic. So this includes a phone call. Depending on the level that you choose, you can call me. And the reason why I put this out there is because I have so many people who want emergency reading. So I have this option, and I don't know if you know this, but I have my regular readings that you have to wait a month or so to come and see me, or I have what's called an emergency reading, which is you need answers now. There's a huge, all of a sudden, surprising, tumultuous thing happening in your relationship. Maybe you found out your husband's cheating on you, or you found out that they have a girl, something crazy like that, and you want answers now, and you don't want to pay $300 to do this reading. This is awesome for you. So there's 1, 2, or 3. Sorry, not 1, 2, or 3. There are 1, 3, and 6 month options, and each, as you go up higher on the scale, there are more things available to you. But basically, the gist is, I'm 1-800 call Jen, and I am your personal psychic for that time. So go and check that out. It's most in Instagram. I did post on the Singing Medium page on Facebook as well. I did a funny video about it. I'm just letting it go. It's so funny. It's so funny, interesting to me as a spiritual entrepreneur. When you put something really, really, really this has happened before. It's like a pattern with me. You get a really cool idea. One time I got an idea to do a course called The Clear Clairvoyant. And I'm like, oh my God, this is a genius idea. You can learn how to open your third eye more, and you can, do all of these clairvoyant activities where it helps you with your psychic visions, things like this. And I thought people would just jump on this. 2 people signed up. 2. And it wasn't even the price. It wasn't even $400. I think it was $60. Not even. I don't even know what the price was. 2 people signed up. Another time this happened too is when I had this beautiful class, this like super cool class, like no one else is doing this, a psychic detective class where you can come and solve crimes and like use your gifts and enhance your gifts, develop your medium and your psychic, and work on cold cases like crime podcast energy, you know. 2 people signed up for that, and I thought this was the most cool idea I've ever received, and it bombed. And I'm like, what? I don't understand what is going on. Same thing, full disclosure, same thing with this subscription or membership, 1-800-CALL Jen, where you literally get your own personal psychic on speed dial, and you don't have to wait, which is what the number one complaint from people is that they have to wait a month, or before it was like 6 months you had to wait for me. And because of my wishy-washiness, I just didn't book any readings. I didn't want to. I took a break. So the same thing. Everyone's like, oh my God, that is so cool. I'm telling you, full disclosure, not one person showed up. Not one person signed up. And again, it can't be the price, because the price, the 1 month is really, really low. So there's that. So I'm just putting that on the table. I feel like I was talking to a friend today who also has a spiritual business. And you know what? It's like, we can't go on anymore saying, oh, everything is awesome. We are thriving in our businesses, because that is the least spiritual thing you could do, is to hide things when you're struggling. And I said to her, I tell on the podcast, I'm having a really hard time with this business. I don't know if I want to be a medium anymore. If you listen to the past episodes, you've heard me say that before. I had a job interview. I obviously didn't get the job, which I'm very glad I didn't get that job, because I know I wouldn't be happy in it. But, and the thing about that, it was like, if we're in a spiritual business, the biggest thing we have to have is trust and surrender. Like literally, like that's the theme of a spiritual business. Is it doesn't work like, say you have a store, or you're selling, you have a store in town, or you sell clothing, or whatever it is your business, you sell gifts, whatever your business is, it's not the same. For some reason, it's just not the same energy. I guess because we work with spirit, I'm not sure. It's just not the same. It's very rare to have consistency in a spiritual business. You just have to put it out there and just be like, you know what? Whatever goes down, goes down. You can't be like, okay, I need to make this quota of $1,000 a week. It does not work that way. We have to use other tricks. Like we have to, write things down 100 times in a notebook, and like it just, you know what I mean, to manifest things. And I don't ever hear like a store owner saying, oh, I need to manifest $500. They just have a store and people come buy their clothes. You know what I mean? So, like a convenience store, like they don't have to manifest anything. It's just a different way of doing things. And I feel like that's sort of like, we're getting more into this. We just have to trust and let go and control that, let go of control. We can't do it. And speaking of spiritual business, you guys, in mid-October, which is in a few weeks, I'm going to be celebrating my 6-year anniversary as the singing medium. So you watch for those. I'm sure there'll be a balloon picture with a 6 balloon on there. And we'll do a little photo shoot just to celebrate. I'm sure I'll do a giveaway, that kind of thing. I haven't done a giveaway in a long time. A long time. All right, let's get into this. Where should I begin? Okay, before I tell you about my freaky dream, let's get into this September 24th thing, which if you're listening to this on Friday, it's actually my mom's birthday, September 23rd. Happy birthday, Mom. And it'll be this Saturday. So actually my friend and I are planning a road trip on Saturday. Do you think we should still go? Like, do you think something major is going to happen? So if you haven't heard about this, scroll on TikTok. It's TikTok is like a wild world. It's like Alice in Wonderland. It's just a really messed up world with weird people, bad guys. It's just, and still a lot of fun, but you just gotta swim through the muck and just still have fun no matter what people say to you. Like Instagram is a whole other world. Instagram is like, la 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 la, I love you, I love all your things. TikTok, I hope you get over your delusions one day. Like it's just a whole other world, which I have mentioned before. But I was just scrolling my business, and this thing of September 24th. Now it started was the SImpsons episode. Now, if you ever heard of the SImpsons episodes, they, for some reason, either are a Freemason and they're getting information from somewhere, and they know all the plans that are already listed, or they're psychic. They predict many things that have happened in the world, like to a T. So there was this one episode, someone commented on one of my reels or my posts and said, you have to watch this SImpsons episode. And I think it was season 24, something with the 2 and the 4 with this thing. So did I even watch it? They gave me the wrong episode. Anyways, it was like, I think it was a world war, or like nuclear stuff. So I think that's what it was. Anyways, so people kept talking about this, and I was getting DMs and messages all of a sudden, like, what do you think about September 24th, Jen? What is your take on it? And I'm like, well, I don't even heard of this. You know, like, I don't want to hear any bad stuff, you guys. I don't want to dive into this. I'm like, okay, what the heck is this September 24th thing? So I just answered. And again, I'll just reiterate, I don't go looking for trouble. And I mean, where in the psychic stuff, I don't go, hey, spirit, can you please show me what's going to happen? My antenna goes up and I receive it. So if I say, can you, like, I don't say, show me what bad things that are going to happen. I don't say that, obviously. And I'm like, I never received any information about this. No psychic information. The only thing that I did receive of the past year is to get water. And you've seen many predictions of mine. I repeat it a lot in a lot of the blog posts on elevatehersoul.com under the blog tab. There's a lot of predictions there. I got a lot of predictions. And I keep posting, get water, get water, get water. Now, if you notice, there is Hurricane Fiona out east in Canada here on the East Coast, and there was lots of videos surfacing of empty shells where you can't buy any water. So, you know, I could also be picking up the water thing from out east. You know, we're one consciousness, so I will tap into the consciousness of different places. It doesn't have to be Ontario, Canada, where I'm from, where I currently live. But I've always felt like the feeling, it's like a feeling, you know, you don't have to be psychic. You're intuitive. So if you feel like you need to do something, like you don't know how to explain it, like, go get a propane tank. Just be prepared. It doesn't hurt. Even if we're wrong, it doesn't hurt to have these things. You know what I mean? So I didn't get anything about it. So I did a couple of videos, and this one, I didn't even like make a prediction on the TikTok video. I was just being silly and writing some shit. Like, it was, you know, it was just me literally sitting at my desk drinking water. That's it. People went crazy on me. They went like 125K views or something, and people were going crazy on me. I was like, what is going on? So speaking of that, I found the secret to like really growing on TikTok. I think I'm at 6,666 followers on TikTok, where I can't get past 1,495 followers on Instagram. I've been trying for years to get up. I can't get past this number, but TikTok, I'm flying, man. I'll be at 10K pretty soon. And the secret to TikTok is to grow on TikTok. For me, I found is like to piss people off. Just tell them the craziest thing. Like one time I talked about Beyonce and how she was, you know, part of the New World Order, and she was like, whatever, and people went crazy on me. They said, oh, we're gonna stick the beehive on you. And I'm like, who's the beehive? And then all of the Beyonce fans were coming at me. I was like, whoa, this place is nuts. So with the September 24th thing, people went crazy on my video, and I wasn't even saying anything about it. I did not predict anything about September 24th. Never on my radar until I saw this on TikTok. So I didn't get anything. The only thing I got was get water. It had something to do with water. So, but then the SImpsons has predicted that it is going to be the war, I believe. So nuclear war. But as you've seen, if you follow the news, which is kind of funny to say, I get my news from TikTok, but they show videos and they can't make this stuff up. Like, I think Russia or Ukraine has had to recruit people, and they have no choice. They have to go into the war. So it's just getting a little bit nasty. So again, I don't know what's going to happen. If you're listening to this on next week, like past September 24th, we're still here. Everything is okay. But yeah, it's just like a really weird feeling. And then, so that reminds me, so then I went back into my notes when I was seeing this, and on January 10th, 2021, it did not make it into a blog post, I don't believe, and it did not make it anywhere, but it is my notes. I have a screenshot of it. And January 10th, 2021, I received a prediction of our words, actually, was radioactive. You know that song by, I can't think of who sings it. It's on the tip of my tongue. Radioactive, that song, Imagine Dragons. That song came into me, and it had a very strong feeling that I needed to write this down. And then underneath the word radioactive, when I typed the word radioactive, like a little emoji came up, and it wasn't a nice one. And then underneath radioactive, I put down kamikaze. So craziness, like kamikaze. Let's do the Google here and see the exact definition of kamikaze. Let me see. I don't know how to spell. How do you spell kamikaze? Okay. Kamikaze. The Japanese word translated as divine wind, God, spirit, divinity. I don't think that's what it is. Oh, okay. A reference to a typhoon that fortuitously dispersed a Mongol invasion fleet threatening Japan from the west in 1281. Okay. So that's it's like chaos. To me, when I hear the word kamikaze, I'm like, oh my God, like chaos, war, fighting, this kind of thing. So it's a Japanese word that translates into divine wind, but a typhoon that dispersed a Mongol invasion fleet threatening Japan from the west in 1281. So, let me see. Yeah, it's just a craziness. It's like war. There's pictures of it. It's crazy. Survive the war. Yeah, so war. So it's probably going to be war. Even though I get water, it's probably going to be war, as you've been watching. So on that note, there was another one that I had as well too that ended up being a TikTok, and I ended up sharing it to Instagram. If you go into the highlights under predictions, you'll see it like way down the end. I had predicted that I could see something. I saw something between like 10 and 20 years. So kind of like Nostradamus energy. I could see far. I don't usually see that far. And it didn't make it into the blog or anything like that, or the podcast, but it was like one world government. So it's going to be like one world government. There's going to be no, we have like, okay, we have like conservatives and the MPs, and then we have like Alberta has their own MPs and their own leaders and then we have our own, like, it's just like a lot. There's a lot. And every country has like different parties and stuff like that. So something about there's going to be a one world government. And then also I had said the countries' names are going to change. So like Canada, the US, Australia, they're going to rename us into something else. But this is like way down the line. Like, I'd be surprised if this was anytime soon or within my restrictions, which is 2 years. It was like a strong feeling of like 10 to 20 years. So, I don't know how we're going to validate this, because I don't know how long this podcast will still be here in 10 to 20 years, but I guess you're going to be able to find it if you ever come across it. This will come up. So again, when I got this, it was a year and a half ago. So January 10th, 2021. So that would make it a year and a half. So this would happen before January 2023. So probably, but it looks like it's happening sooner. So like I said, within 2 years, these things are going to happen. Okay. All right. I'm like, let's get into a happy note, but my freaky dream is not a happy dream. And it has to do with this war energy, with the Japanese, with the Chinese government, things like this. So again, I'll explain it here. So going back to TikTok, there's only like 1 or 2 videos still around. I don't know if they're still in lockdown or not, but it was like a massive lockdown where there's like hazmat suits, people walking around in hazmat suits, which is one of my predictions from like 2 years ago, and I didn't understand why, but there are people walking around in hazmat suits. Everyone's locked down. You can't go anywhere. There's a video of like all these apartment buildings, and like people are screaming their heads off because no one is allowed to go out. You get shot if you left your house. Like, there's drones everywhere telling you in Chinese or some other language, stay in your house, and these drones are flying around. There's like robot dogs running the streets. Like, it is insane. And like, me telling you, if you've never seen these videos, you would not believe me because it's not on the news. You'd be like, okay, Jen, you're a wackadoodle. This is not, like, seriously, this is for real. But here's my dream that I had. And again, the reason why I was a little bit like, oh gosh, is because obviously of what I do, right? So I'm a psychic. So me having a dream like this, and going back to the beginning of the podcast where I just talked about that, sometimes in a dream and you wake up and it feels real, it could happen. So I'm not convinced that this could happen to us, but this is my freaky dream, you guys. Okay, so on September 16th of this year, this is the dream that I had. Woke up in a sweat, freaking out, because it was so real. It's like I was there. Like, there's something called astral projection too. So sometimes when we're sleeping, we astral project or astral travel our etheric bodies, and we can visit all these other realms or these other countries, or we can just go anywhere we want, because our soul gets tired when we're sleeping, or bored when we're sleeping. It's like, I'm out of here. I'm not going to stay in this body while you're sleeping, and goes out and has a little adventure. So that's what it felt like. So the dream was the Chinese military was in Canada. Now, before I go further with this creepy, freaky dream, this happened. So about a year and a half ago, there was something on the news, or like a legit article from a good source, not TikTok. There was training. The Chinese military came to Canada. I'll try to find the article. The Chinese military did come to Canada and trained in Canada at a base here. I'm not kidding. When I saw that, I was terrified to see these photos. I'm like, what the hell is the Chinese military doing here? This actually happened. Okay. So in the dream, the Chinese military was in Canada. They had the hazmat suits on. There was drones. There was the dog robots, and they were keeping us locked up in my dream. And then also in the dream, there was like an electronic ticker. You know what I mean? Like, where there's like a sign in New York and it has like the electronic words, and it's spewing words across the ticker or the digital sign, and you read it, it had Chinese warnings on it. Like, so we're Canadian, obviously, and we speak English and French, but everything was in Chinese. So they had taken away our language and translated everything into the Chinese symbols. And I was like, what is going on with this? And then, I know I keep talking about TikTok. It's super annoying. It's really annoying. Trust me, I understand what you're listening to. But there was someone did a video, and I can't remember which airport they were in, but they were in a different country. I don't know what country it was because I didn't really pay attention to it. But there was like over their language at an airport was Chinese signs. They were pointing like, why is there Chinese symbols over top of our language? Like, so I keep getting these like little mini validations, you know, of like this could be something, you know, and then it was like Chinese warnings, you know, like in a different language. We weren't English anymore. And if you feel into this and you're like, okay, this is too freaky for me, I got turned off. But you know, Justin Trudeau freaking loves the Chinese system. Everything about it. He loves everything about it. The social credit system, he loves everything about this. This would not surprise me if this happened one day. Okay. And then the other part of the dream was there was food rations were delivered to us, but we could go eat and have more. Like, I think I remember having food delivered in the dream, food delivered to the house on our front steps, but then we could go, like, here's the thing. Intuitively, I've been collecting food for like a year. Like a year ago, I had a strong pull, a strong urge to go to No Frills and get all like the cheap cans of food and stuff like that, and bottles of water and everything, and just store it up. I don't have very much, and I keep seeing these people on social media and their videos like, look at all my storage. I'm like, oh my God, I don't have enough food. This actually happens. You know what I mean? And then yesterday or the day before, I went outside and I had gone to the grocery store, and that's the day I had bought the water. And my neighbor was across the street. Now this guy is like, I think he's a paramedic captain or something. Like, he's high up in the paramedic realm. And I called over to his name. I'm like, hey, I said, do you have a generator? He goes, huh? And I'm like, do you have a generator? He goes, no. And I was like totally shocked he didn't have a generator. I said, I feel like you're the kind of guy that would have a generator. Like, it's really weird. He's like, why are you saying that? And I'm like, I don't know. I just thought I would ask you about a generator. Like, things like this, like these weird things that you say. You don't know why you're saying them, or you don't know why you're seeing something. This is what I'm talking about. This is your gift. And you might be like, oh, I don't have a gift, Jen. Yes, you do. You are a human being. You have intuition. You have a gift. The only difference between me and you is that I worked on mine. I worked really hard on mine. I wanted to develop it. Look where it's got me now. Like, dude, I see like bad things. And I was taught, ironically, by my mentor that you're not supposed to see anything bad. And so the gift has just grown so much, like exponentially, that now I'm just like putting out all this stuff where I was taught you wouldn't get into anything scary, negative. Even in my psychic readings, my personal one-on-one psychic readings, like stuff I'm getting, I'm like, stop. Like, I don't like when I'm doing a psychic reading, sometimes there's no filter because I'm getting something from a higher realm than myself, you know? And so it's like, sometimes it's all like blunt. It's like in your face. It's like honest. So if you're like, hey, Jen, is my husband cheating on me? Yes. Like, there's no filter. Like, it's just very hard to hold back, you know? So I've just took me a long time to just embrace my honesty. You know, people are like, oh, Sagittarius. I'm like, yeah, but I just have decided to embrace that, and that's what I do. So, you know, before I was like, we're just going to offend everybody and scare everybody with these predictions in this dream, but like, I've had mostly positive responses back from people thanking me. So every time I get a message on Facebook, or I get a message on a DM and Instagram, elevate.her-soul, I'm like so happy to read this. Like, some woman messaged me on Facebook the other day and was like, thanks to your predictions, we moved to a different country because we know what's going to happen and we just had to get out of there. I'm like, oh my gosh. Like, it was just like stuff like that, you know, that makes it worthwhile. I'm gonna keep doing it. Even though there's negative stuff, and I feel like days I want to quit, and I don't enjoy my job some days, you know, but then there's other days where I get messages like that, or I do a reading for someone and they're so emotional and happy that they got to connect with their loved ones in spirit, or I told them some good news, you know, things like that. It's just really, you know, in the end, we do have days I feel like it's like everyone, you know, if you have a job that you're like, oh, I don't really, it's whatever, and like maybe I'll quit, and but then you have days that you're like, oh my God, that was the best day I ever had. You know, you gotta hang out for best days you ever had. I think that's what the point is, really. You know, it's not about making money. I mean, we do need money, obviously, to live, but again, that's a prediction. We're not gonna need money anymore, you guys. I feel like there's like a relief coming. You know how like people are stressed about money, like, oh my God, how am I gonna get money to pay for this? How am I gonna do this? I feel like there's a relief system coming where if it happens where the World Economic Forum is successful and we go to like no cash, it is starting. And however they're gonna do this, like, it's gonna be craziness, but it's almost like we're not gonna have to worry about money anymore. You know what I mean? And I don't know if it's like a bad thing or a good thing. I don't know yet. Whatever comes. Okay, I don't know who said this quote, but I keep hearing in my head. If this helps you before I end here, here's a quote, and I actually ironically think it's Harry Potter. So I'm going to tell you the quote first that I keep hearing, and then I'm going to Google it. Okay? So the quote is that I keep hearing: "What's coming will come, and we'll meet when it's done." Okay? What's coming will come. I think actually it's Harry Potter. Yeah, it's Harry Potter, you guys. Did you guys know I have like Harry Potter tattoos? Like, I'm obsessed with Harry Potter. Hagrid says it. So he says, what's coming will come, and we'll meet when it's done. I knew it. Like, I knew it was Harry Potter when I kept hearing this in my head. I was like, that sounds like Harry Potter. And it is. So that's what I want you to remember. I want you to listen to Hagrid from Harry Potter, and he tells you what's coming will come, and we'll meet when it's done. Like, whatever's gonna come is gonna come, and we'll meet together when I hope we all meet together. I hope we meet in the middle. I hope we find a common ground. I hope we're not yelling at each other, hating each other anymore. I hope we share our food if we need to. I hope we welcome people into our homes. I hope we protect each other. You know, that's the point of this 5D thing, that new world that we want, you know? So that these spiritual people keep talking about, you guys. All right, I'm going to leave you with that. I hope that someone is going to take me up on this amazing psychic membership / subscription / 1-800-CALL-JEN. That's not actually the number. Someone's like, I said it to a friend, like, what if they're actually trying to call 1-800-CALL-JEN and it's not working? I'm like, come on. You don't think people actually think that's real, do you? But that's like, I was trying to explain to them, they can call a psychic and ask their questions to get answers now. You can get your answer now. You don't have to wait a month. All right. Have an amazing weekend, and I'll see you on the other side. I'll see you on the flip side of whatever's going to go down September 24th or whatever's going to go down in the future. I will see you on the flip side.